And we live. What up, chat? Yeah, well, you're not. Why are you not live? What's up with that? Video source. They love doing this. I don't understand why. Add. Yeah, there you go. Now you are. I got you. Oh wait, give me a mic check. Let's see if I can.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're good. You're good. I think we're about the same level, so I'll bump yours up just a little bit. Yeah. And then I need to do one more thing here.
So just my mic closer instead of being a lazy ass.
Isn't that what we're supposed to do though?
Like sometimes.
Okay, sweet. Cool. All right, so we've done the thing. I've done the social media thing because apparently that's what you do. Get out of here, Zoom window. All right, so now we're about to talk into this of like you wanted this thing where you could present your dogs, you know, in a place that's relevant for you, and I mean maybe other people too, I guess, but mostly for you, right? Because no one else matters.
Truthfully.
um, I started using Wes term because people on the internet are persuasive. And one of the things that Wes term does is give you, and I'll throw Wes term up here and I'll put it in the chat. I don't like the URL is like super long, but here we'll just go to the GitHub repo, which we'll talk about in a second. That way I can share that with you and everyone else. But yeah, like Wes term is interesting. The thing that people love about it more than anything is that it's like very modular, and I think it's written in Rust, and you use Lua to configure it, which I was like, Lua, hype, but I also understand like why now. The big why is because you're dealing with a scripting language. It's not just like configure, present. It's configure with code and present live. So that means that you can do things like if I go to my dot files and where is that at? Let's see, cd config Western. Yep, Western Lua. Well, that's a yeah. We can. Come on. Nope. Come on. Come. Really?
Doing the thing.
It's doing the thing. I'm trying to get it to jump back into Vim mode, and it was like no. So you can do this thing where like all of a sudden you want to set a background, right? And you could do like I have this like window background opacity thing, but I could do something like function pics of Baki and then have it do a thing, you know, and just say some picture or like for file in, you know, photos set. And this is pseudocode. This is not Lua. I don't know enough Lua to do this. I would have to look it up online. But like set photo to random photo, you know, something like something to that effect, and then you would have like a what is it, return random photo. So you just, you know, or maybe you don't do this for, you would just do like set photo to random photo return photo, and then down here you would have your window background, and then that turns is equal to something here with the path is
to photo.
Yeah, you know, path is equal to pics of Baki. So like at that point Again, this doesn't work, but you're following the pseudocode here of like,
Mm-hmm.
if I had this function that just selects a random photo of my dog every time I open the browser, then every time I open the browser, my browser window the background of it will be this random photo of my dog. And then you can set the opacity to different levels and all that stuff. So like that's where the idea of like learning a language, to me, like learning programming in general isn't necessarily about like I want to write the Python code. For me, it's like I like writing the Python code, but to be able to understand that what I need to do is something like this. I don't know what this is actually, but I'm assuming that it would be something photo, you know, this would be what, local photo equals whatever that is, return photo, like expected end of file. Oh, I need an end. Yeah, I guess.
Oh, Loa ends in a very specific way.
Yeah, that tells it that to end that function there. So yeah, like whatever the random photo is, and then from there, like I mean, that's just a quick. You could probably even go into WesTerm, and WesTerm's like config probably has something on how to do that. If I looked in the docs hard enough, you know, configuration, colors and appearance, color scheme, padding, window background image. Look at that, config.window background image. So if I wanted to do that, let me find, let's see, I'll use my conduit logo. Well, I thought I would use my conduit logo. Do I not have a conduit logo on here? What? Okay, fine. I'll use my Ivan logo. Whatever. I don't care. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, company stuff. Or Black Python Devs logo is another good one. So yeah, we'll just do BPD stacked because why not? I just need that path. Copy path to clipboard, and then what is this? Config.window background image equals that. Cool. So what do we say? Window background image is equal to a string. That string is that. Save it. What's it getting on about? Oh, it's saying I'm missing. Sure. Okay, that's fine. Go away. Again, the two random photo thing is probably not. That doesn't work because it doesn't know what that is. But yeah, like I could set whatever this is, and then I just need to learn the Lua code for like how do I get a random image from there. And now I'm actually wondering, did that work? Probably not. Wait, what are you doing? Get out of there. What's term? Okay. Oh, it's choking on me not being able to write good code. Hold on. Let me, because yeah, like my whole joint's just not there right now. Let's see. Let me just. Is that not how you do the comment? Code. I could have sworn that was how you did the comment thing. Code action. I don't know. Can I just do it like comment? No, not command. Insert. No. Okay. Well, you know what? We'll just do this. I don't even know how you do like. What if you do 3? Does that make it? No. Okay. You know what? We're just gonna get rid of all that. Boom. Like that. Save. Boom. Everything changed, and in the background, you can now see like.
I see it.
Yeah. Now again, you probably need to know some different commands that are like, don't stretch it or whatever. Oh, I mean, but you can do things like gradients. You can do all that kind of stuff. Animated. You can do what? You can do GIFs.
That's interesting. I feel like that'd be more distracting than anything else.
I know, right? But you just gotta try it. Like,
It's true. That's a really good gift for a coding background.
yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna make me, right there. I mean,
How it feels to do code reviews.
but again, like, all right, let's do this. We'll make this like .2, so it's not incredibly distracting. Even though now it looks incredibly more distracting because you got like
Mm.
all these windows and stuff in the background. But again, like it's not terrible. Um, yeah, let's change that back to that. I'm still gonna keep this at like 0.3. There we go. And then just get rid of that. But yeah, so like being able to do things like that, like this is the whole reason that we become developers. And like sure, job stuff is cool too, but like ultimately you really just want to have your unique system or do a thing that you want to do because you purely want to do it. Okay, enough of that. I do want to find that whole gradient thing because that looked kind of dope.
Hmm.
There we go. Get rid of that. All right. But that's not what we came here for. That was just your
It might be
day.
part of what we
and-
came here for.
I mean, it could be part of what we came here for. Also, the fact that like this window being that transparent is bothering me because I'm like looking at the GitHub window behind it and being like, I don't know
I was
what's
gonna
going
ask.
on.
So
You're like, why does it look like GitHub behind it?
it's less that is why is there GitHub behind it, is more the fact it's like how can you see?
How can I focus with it like that? I
Yeah, like
don't I
that's
don't
just
mind the
impressive.
minor transparency. It's just like it needs to be a little less. Just a little less. All right, cool. So we were talking about this project that you want, but I want you to tell me about this project. And while you're doing that, I am going to
Read a list of all the tools that I'll be having to use.
no, not at all. I'm just gonna go
Okay.
into Excalidraw because to be
Ooh.
honest, I don't want to think too hard. So what are you trying to do here? What are you trying to do?
So I guess the baseline of it is make a website. And I know that's kind of like the lamest thing. Um, but it's
What is
kind
this
of
website doing?
it's going to be more of a portfolio piece, and I'm just using my dog as kind of a reference to do it.
But no, what is the website doing though?
So the website's going to have picture presentations, video, um, and potentially a live cam of the
Of
dog,
of a
of
dog.
Baki, yeah, of a dog.
Okay. You got a picture of Baki and throw it up
I
here.
do.
Motivation window.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we're looking at this from like the general perspective of like you got this, and then I'm guessing, you're talking about camera, big camera thing up here. Or maybe you got other photos under here. And again, this isn't a design. This is just like
Ideation.
yeah. This is a let's understand where you're trying to get to with whatever it is we're doing. So if you're saying, so is this? I mean, this is kind of what we're talking about here. Live stream of Baki here. How do I how do I throw a triangle in there? Can you give me like a
They refuse to give you a triangle.
close enough YouTube button? You know, some video thing, and then you got these. This you can tell I do not use Excalidraw at all. Center these. Can I group them? Can we get our grouping on? Is that grouping?
It's
Yeah,
Control G.
there we go.
That's normal group. Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
there you go. Again, center them, Control G. Won't do that. Cool. Copy all these. Vertically center, group to group. There we go. Boom. All right. So something like that shows Baki.
Mm-hmm.
So then you got a couple of questions here.
Mhm.
First question: why are the buttons different? Come on, grab all that. I guess we're gonna Control G. Nope, Control G did not do the grouping.
Doesn't look like it's a grouping.
Command G. What?
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, I forgot you're on a Mac.
I mean,
My
even
bad.
then, like, okay, cool, I guess. So Command G, we got the group. So these data points, where are they coming from? Where they live?
So my question would be, would it be easier to set a database for them to live in, or would it be easier to just host them in the native website? Because of those data points, I'm assuming if we're going to have them as pictures, if I'm going to have them as pictures, I'd want an area to host them.
So you want to know?
I mean, I kind of know where to, like, where they could be posted at. I just don't know what would be the best way to host them, if that makes sense.
So I am of the ilk that I don't like storing blobs in like databases.
Okay.
That's just me though. If
Oh,
you
that makes
wanted to
sense.
do, if you wanted to do some level of vector style thing, like the Neo4j people, the vector search people are like, no, just store your images as raw encoded data inside of whatever, whatever, and they're available to you now. Like, sure, I
Seems complicated.
guess. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Um, it's more of just like you got this database living somewhere that has a bunch of stuff in it, and like, okay, I guess that is an option. Technically,
Okay.
that is an option. So I would say, um, store blobs in database, right? Another option is we'll say store encoded blobs in database, and then you decode it with something like like pillow, and then it generates the image off of the encoded bits. You could also just store blobs in blob storage, which is like AWS. Um,
Mhm.
Depending on what your appetite for cost is, technically you could do this for, well, if you're putting it on the internet, you can't do it for free.
No,
Um,
thanks for yeah.
yeah. Um, AWS would be relatively cheap. And by relatively cheap, I mean, like, I think my AWS bill for like the last 7 years of all of the images on my website has been like $7 a month. Um, so like it's not ridiculous. And I mean, again, that's like a blog that has all kinds of images. I could probably go clean that thing out and save a bunch of money, but it would cost me more money personally to clean it out than it would be to like, it costs me more time and energy than money that I feel like I'm paying right now. Give me
I
like
get
50
it.
years of this, and then maybe I'll be like, you could have saved $3,000 by
Yeah, but even then, it wouldn't be worth the time that
exactly.
you're worth.
Yeah, and blob storage is cheap. Um, Another option, and we can talk about why this is or isn't a good option, is just store as files in file system. You know, so if you're, again, this is going to be an AWS or GCP or Azure or whatever. And I should also say that all of these are those things: AWS, GCP. Like it's mostly a pick your poison on this. Like that, none of these matter. So ultimately, like you could have an entire server that is just like,
Blobs.
well, it's everything. It
Okay.
is, quite literally everything. Eh, there we go. So you could have everything here. You could also have, you know, there is the world that is microservices. They don't have database images. I'm guessing there probably is a way to do database image stuff, like sign in. Oh, that's just their GitHub repo. Export images, command palette. I could have sworn they had like a thing. Oh well, they don't. AI. No, thank you.
Hmm?
Cool, whatever. We're just gonna go. We'll just go with this. So,
Maybe it's under library.
where do you see library?
Top right.
Excalibur library. Browse libraries. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Simple characters. Yeah, I see what you're doing. I see what you're cooking with gas here. There's a bunch of these. System. Basic system design. There we go. Boom. No, give me like the icons. Don't give me like I don't need this whole thing. Good lord. See, this is why
What?
we can't have fun.
Just put
UTM.
database.
No UTM. Yeah, good point. That's in basic system design. IT icons, data processing,
There we go.
data
I feel like IT
platform.
icons would be the one.
We'll do data platform. We'll do IT because why not? Oh. Okay, cool. Oh yeah. Oh, those are clean. Those
Boom.
look
Database and
beautiful.
drive.
Okay, cool. So if we got, do we have service here? Just something flat, straight up server. Oh, server. Boom. Right. So you can have all of your code, like code database. Where's database? Boom. Anything else? Is there like a code icon here? No code icon. So what we're not gonna have is the code icon, the little, what you call it? This could be code icon for now. All right, so you've got your code. Zoom in on that. You got your database, and they all live on a single server. This is how most of these databases started at some point. I don't know what I'd. That's a big ugly link of something. There we go. Cool. So you got all this stuff going to your data, like your database and your code, all existing on a server somewhere. That server list, like this is going to be like EC2 instance, Cloud Run instance, or whatever. I mean, this technically could even be a static website in some ways. If you want to get some JavaScript involved, you could straight up flat file this. You literally could just have a bunch of images on a drive, and you have JavaScript that has access to a list of images like in JSON.
Okay.
And you say, just give me a random one, like just pick one, just load that image up. That's actually probably the cheapest. That's like if you wanted a way to do it that was free, like you could do that. You could do that. If I just hit 5, does that work? I hit 5 and nothing happened. So we're just gonna. Nope. Fam. Even though I grouped them, you're not gonna give me a touch point for the group. Okay, whatever. All right, boom. All right, so like you could do like this all on a flat file, and then this is just interacted with using JavaScript. Do we have a JavaScript icon? Probably not. Is there one for? Nope, not really.
What if you just put JS?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
VS Code or Vista.
That's cute. All right, so yep, HTML. With a little bit of JavaScript, Don't know where their little JavaScript window. They got every single type of JavaScript except
Yeah,
for just
Java.
like
Yeah.
flat up JS right there. Boom. All right. So like you could do this. Like this is a thing that you could do of just like you don't even need a database at this point. Like database disappears. You can just have I've got HTML, I've got JavaScript, I've got these images sitting in a folder, and my JavaScript is basically just loading the paths of these JavaScript images at random into a section and displaying them. Like that is a thing that you can do, and it would work. No Python required, no nothing required. Like, is there like a JSON thing here? There's not a JSON thing here at all. And now I'm just excited to be playing with Excalidraw because I never mess with it like that. So, whatever. We'll just throw some code in there. Yeah, code is handling all that. So like that could work. You could do that. You don't need to learn Python for that. You don't need to learn anything for that. If you're just trying to solve the problem, like this does that. Now there are some issues that you'll run into. Issue one, these. Every time you add an image, you got to update the code, the path of that image so that it's actually accessible. I kind of don't hate that because it keeps it limited. Like if you wanted to say like 5 photos from Baki and then the live stream, like you could definitely do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna save you a lot of energy. I'm gonna full screen this just because we're hanging out in this a lot. So yeah, that's an option. But it's not as like if you have 500 images of Baki, that becomes an issue. Again, not even the biggest of issues because guess what? You know Python now. So you could, in theory, where's my Python logo? They got, oh, it's like, come on, I know I saw you. So, I mean, you could have Python code that looks at this folder. Is there a folder in here? Do I got folders?
Yeah, I think it was below. Oh, it's on folder. Yeah, right there.
Folder. So, like, it's just looking at this folder full of these files. Python says, cool, I see you, folder. And guess what? I'm going to output this over here. I'm going to make this code. This code's going to work. And then that's how you got the code that the JS reads. That's common. That's a not a thing that I currently do, but it's a kind of thing that I do. Like if I'm looking at my GitHub, KJ Miller, let's just do that. If I go here, this stuff here is generated by code. It's not me like this whole readme part here gets generated by this readme template, which is, latest blog post summary, latest blog post title, some hard coded entries, latest episode title. And then the way that I generate those titles is I have a script here that says update readme. And it says, hey, here's a feed. There's a feed. Here's some other feeds. Oh, I should probably get rid of some of these feeds. And then it's like, hey, you know what? Latest feed. I'll need you to go get the latest episode of Conduit, get the latest episode of PCN feed. I love the fact that I still have this. I built that package. When did I build that package? PyPI.org. Hasn't been updated in a couple of years. Podcast episode downloader, also known as episode DL. So like it's a simple thing that does a thing very well. I should probably go and update it just a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. I should probably. I just hit homepage and like nothing happened. I should probably go fix that. I was trying to see the version history on this. What am I doing? Release history. Okay, so just 2020. So yeah, I made this in 2020. It was a thing that I think I updated last in 2020. It does its thing. It does what it's supposed to do.
It
Um,
does its thing, and it should be fine.
yeah, well, yeah, yeah, it's fine. Uh, but I did it specifically for something like this because I've had plenty of websites where all I wanted to do was showcase what's the latest podcast episode that I released. So I had a
Gotcha.
little thing that I made that does this. And honestly, hey, cool. Let's oh, can I see like by me? Did it not like author owner?
Just zooming through.
Was that?
I see, just zooming through. I think I
Well,
might catch one in every 100 things you're doing.
I'm not doing. Oh, here we go. I was saying, boom. Let's bring back episode DL. Wait, why is there a pull request here? Oh, okay, it was Dependabot. All right. So like, yeah, this was an early project that I made. What does it do? It just downloads a thing and it does it. It just does the thing. No big deal. Feed parser, request, PyTest. That's all it does. Little stuff like look. You could run through this code. Let's look at this code. Let's just look at this code and see what this code does. Feed.py.
Okay.
Get episode. Get episode calls feed parser and parses the RSS feed.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. Get audio file.
Oh.
Audio file will make it so that if you look at the, because I know the RSS, the podcast RSS spec is usually looking for like audio MPEG. I guess technically you could put a wave. I think you could put a wave in there, but like I don't know about that. And then you just return the href. Like that's it. So just return the URL. So either return the full episode object or return, and that's just as it's read by feed parser. There's no special parser or thing for it. Then you just get that audio file. You get the entry. So you go episode links. You have to have a specific episode. So maybe you do get episodes first, and then for each one you get the audio file for each of those episodes. And then all that does is just return the URL. And then you can download audio file. So if you want to download it, you can download it. Apparently I was using, oh no, it wasn't. I wasn't doing like, I was like doing iter chunks and stuff, which is fine. That's how I'd still do it like this today. Say, hey, here's some chunks, download this chunk and do a thing and then return the file path. Maybe there's a way to do that that's better, but again, this works. And that's kind of it. That's like all of the code. That is all of the package. And I've used that package. PyStats. That's it, right? That's the thing.
Blind.
PyStats is, if I'm remembering, that's not it. There's a service I thought was called PyStats, pystats.org, but that apparently is not it.
What's the service do?
It just tells you like what are the download statistics from PyPI. Is it pypistats.org? Oh, I was gonna say I knew it was something like that. Yeah, like probably not used that much. 80 downloads. The most it's gotten is like 80 downloads a day.
That seems like a lot. Maybe I'm just wrong.
800 downloads in the last month. Again, I don't know who's using this, but it happens. I mean, a lot of this is probably me, and I know that. Well, I know that a little bit of it is me, purely because my profile here auto updates, so I don't have to go in and manually update that. It updates. Let's see, every 4 hours. So, hey, I'm only doing 8 of them, but there are lots of other people using this
70 more.
for what I don't know. But I made the thing. It's out there. Apparently, people are using it for something. It's happening out there. Cool.
Gotcha.
Also, slightly terrifying.
Why?
But well, again, it's just been sitting there operating in the background. So who knows how long it's been working. But again, all of that to say, this code that says get this episode, get the latest episode, and then from there, it's probably doing. Is it doing like a get URL thing? No, just get latest episode. Get latest episode. Sweet. Latest micro dot blog post, and then from there, because I'm doing more stuff with it, I'm getting the summary, and then here I'm getting the title. But then if I look at the actual code on that title, I'm getting like the post link, getting that thing. When I go like the latest conduit episode, I'm going episode link. So like, and then that's just taking you to whatever the website is. I'm not actually getting the URL. So, like, there are different ways to do this, and this updates every 4 hours. You could, in theory, do this. You could like straight up have your GitHub repo. The README of your GitHub repo could just be. I don't think you can do. You can't do embeds on GitHub because it'll like block it. But like, you could just have 5, however many images of Baki sitting in this repo in here, just loading from that, and you could have Python being the thing that drives that. Absolutely free. So,
Okay. But the way you're saying that, it makes me feel like there's a big but to this.
I mean, I'm not going to say a big but. There might be a but. So what are the pros of this?
It's free.
Free is good.
But I don't know if there's any other pros besides that.
Well, what are the cons of it then?
That's a solid question. What are the cons of it?
Okay, well,
I feel like the only cons of it is you can't do specific. I feel like there's specific things you can't do because it's hosted on GitHub.
free. Well, you say because it's hosted on GitHub. So, second option, we scale up just a little bit more, and we go with the static website, which if my profile page is the bare minimum, my website is the next minimum.
Next level.
Yeah, I mean it's literally the next minimum. Like my website, again, I'm not a designer. If you wanna design my website and make it prettier, I'm not gonna stop you. But I'm not a designer. I believe my accessibility score is relatively good, so I'm gonna
that's
hold
important.
on to that. Also, if I change my appearance to light mode, then I believe.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that to us?
Boom, like
That's cool.
yeah. So like.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, I didn't design that. I used Tailwind, and Tailwind did it. Tailwind did it. But all of this is all static. This blog post that you should check out sometime. Good first issues aren't always good, but can be issues. That's all built statically. I can't even look at the I don't even think I can generate the output. Well, I can generate the output. I just can't generate it on here. Ooh. Ouch. That's not healthy. That is too bright. Too bright. I need to That ain't it.
Dark mode.
Much better.
Yeah.
I'll,
Save those eyes.
I
Go
will
dark
adjust.
mode.
I will adjust the light mode on here to be a little less hurting my
Aggressive.
eyes. So yeah, like if I go, there we go. If I go Z, go to my website. Nope. Both those are up. All right, cool. So if I look at the output of here, let's just do ls-t level 2 on output, right?
Okay.
Like,
Sweet Jesus.
yeah, I mean, here all my about page, about page, blog,
Whoa.
an RSS feed, blog, all that gets generated by Python. Shout out to Render Engine, we making it. We out here doing stuff. Blog. I got a coffee page. I kind of forget that I have a coffee page. If I go to coffee, just says I love coffee. Probably has a Gotcha Classic Pro. This was like my, hey, if you come here, I get paid.
That's cool.
Which I mean, I told you, I put it in big letters. Hey, affiliate links. Like don't.
Don't get mad at me. I put it there.
Yeah, Spring mods. Here's the stuff that I use. If you wanna see what I'm doing.
I didn't realize you were such a connoisseur.
Oh, I love coffee. Absolutely love coffee.
We'll have to talk coffee sometime. I'm definitely lower, not even a hobbyist, but
we can talk coffee. My goal, like the why am I a developer, is so that all my bills can be paid and I can focus full time on Black Python devs, which is a new evolution in my long-term career goals. But also to open up a coffee shop that hires and helps rehabilitate previously incarcerated peoples. So like
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, like helping them with a job where they can like, oh hey, you have city employment, but also this situation where like you can learn on the job and get paid to learn by having things like programming classes and like resume building workshops and stuff into coffee shops.
Sick.
Sick. Like long-term goal, I want to do coffee things. I would love something better than a Gotcha Classic Pro. But all of that to say, like, hey, I got a coffee page. I should probably talk about my coffee page more. I forget about my coffee page all the time.
You should talk about your coffee page more.
Yeah, I have a conferences page. I thought I got rid of the conferences page, to be honest. But the conferences page has some of the talks that I gave last year. How is this generated? This is generated off of, let's see, we go here. I think there's a conferences.json. We look at conferences.json and it's literally just the information. It's just flat file information. Hey, this video URL. Oh, watch presentation. This watch presentation link. If I click on it.
That's cool.
Yeah, like
where is it generating from is my question.
It's all, so the Render Engine builds it.
Render Engine. Okay.
So Render Engine is the static site generator that I made. I can do Python-M. I don't have to do the Python-M. I can just do Render Engines. We can do Render Engine build, and then we give it routes app. What up, Keith? It's good to see you. Yes, I love the coffee page. Okay, let's try that one more time. Render Engine build apps. It's loading my plugins. It's generating my RSS feeds. It's generating all the pages. It's doing post-build plugins to do stuff. And then it just rebuilt the page.
Oh.
So if I wanted to update my site, for instance, on my website or my YouTube channel, I have my awkward. I have a conference talks repo here that has more of these. Let's add. Good Lord. Okay. Yeah. Let's add the PyCon US keynote. So all I got to do for this is Oops. Just add another spot here. We say conference PyCon US 2024. Location. Again, a lot of this is just metadata. Is it necessary? I don't know. I kind of forget.
Yes, it is. I mean, you want it to be necessary for the web crawlers, and at least for your website, it helps a lot. I don't know if
I don't know. I mean, I'm more than anything. I'm like, I don't remember half of this information, so I'm like, 1520. I think is when I did that. Something to that effect. Talk title. What did I title that talk? Something Black Python devs. Something profit. I don't know. I'm kidding. I think it's just called Black Python devs x PyCon UX. I didn't really have a title for it. And then what do we need? Video URL. Boom. Yep.
yeah, Vertex. That's what it was.
What's Vertex?
It's Google's new AI product for their crawlers.
Oh yeah, it is. I'm kind of upset about it because I use.
Yeah, I wanted to read the documentation about it just because I have like a mild interest in SEO stuff.
I use Vertex I use the other version. Google naming things 8,000 times is annoying to me because Vertex for me means something different. That is a Google product. That is an AI thing. That is tapped into Gemini. That has nothing to do with the web stuff. It's something completely different. Keith, yo, what's a man got to do to get you into a new static site generator? Give me a call. We'll get you testing and developing on Render Engine in no time. And then the description, I don't know, Chat GPT, give me a description. No. I'm just trying to type this out real quick. Okay, boom. So we did the expected a comma. It's JSON, son. Oh, comma there. That's why. Can I do prettier? No. Okay. Well, we'll save this. There we go. I was gonna say it'll get linted eventually. So something will lint it. All right. So yeah, just rebuild this. Oh, actually, what am I doing? Because that was on the actual website itself. Let me do the next thing. Instead of build, I'm just going to do render engine serve routes app. And now I should be able to go to localhost 8000, hit OK, boom, we're there. Go conferences. Oh. Because it's local, it really wants me to do that HTML thing. Boom, Black Python devs x PyCon US, and it's sorted. I think it's not sorted. I think it's just whatever order I put them in.
However, yeah.
But PyCon US is like right there. So what does that link to? I'm guessing there's probably something in the template in here that is I did not configure. But yeah, that template. Let's see, bat. You'll need to know what this means and dive in quick. Well, does it intersect with Django? Well, here's the thing. It was heavily inspired by Django class-based views, but it's a static site generator, which means technically no, it doesn't. It has nothing to do with any of the major web frameworks. It is a new paradigm. There is like a getting started thing if you want to learn more. I would say go to github.com/render-engine. Also, feel free to complain about the docs as much as you want, because Lord knows I need to get on get on my backside and like start updating them docs. But yeah, that routes they get called. Those routes are just, they're here. So this is what render engine looks like, by the way, Keith, if you want to see it. I could make, most of this isn't necessary. What you really need are collection, site, page. Technically, you can, from render engine, just import collection, site, and page. So like, let me, for the sake of making this cleaner and not, okay, thank you, site, pay, or no, collection, get rid of that, and get rid of that. Blog is its own special type of collection that does specific blog things, like make sure your RSS feed is there. It enforces a date standard and it sorts everything by date, and everything is like the most recent date, all that good stuff. Where that lives, so I have this content folder where we just have stuff in there. You have front matter at the top. That's just valid YAML. As long as the YAML is valid, you're good. It doesn't really care. There we go. And then microblog is a custom collection that I also made that allows me to have a very that's kind of terrifying that did that. Por qué? Oh, is it because I stopped? It's because I stopped the service.
Is it the 0?
No, it's because I stopped the service. I was like, what are you doing? There we go. Yeah, if I go to my microdot, see, this is the thing that I gotta fix, because this isn't supposed to do this. This is actually supposed to be brighter.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's where I'm not putting it in light mode. You can't make me. If I go to,
Never would.
Yep, this got fixed. It hasn't been pushed yet. Either that or I fixed it and then unfixed it, probably in some weird Git mess, which is a thing that we got to talk about at some point. But yeah, I have microdot blog. Anytime I post to that microdot blog, or anytime I post to my blog, it auto publishes to Mastodon and does all Mastodon-y things, which is cool. But yeah, there's that. But yeah, so going through this, you do need a parser. The markdown page parser is there. I think you can also just do from render engine import markdown page parser. It might also be from, yeah, this is like, it got separated into its own thing, and this is me testing it, but I'm pretty sure you can also just do like from render. Like you can just do that, like import markdown page parser like that. It works. Aggregated feed, that's just because I had 2 RSS feeds and I wanted to create a custom object that would, if I gave it multiple feeds, it would smush them into one feed. That way I don't have to tell, micro.blog or whatever, here's how you like combine those 2 feeds. It's just like, no, it's just one feed. And that's what that all post.rss is. YouTube embed project, which is broken at the moment, but that makes it's supposed to make it so that if I just put a YouTube URL on its own line, it automatically generates the embed like frame for it and then puts it up on the web page. Again, that's broken because plugins are hard. I got to figure out how to get that working again. But that's like a thing that's not built into render engine. That's an extra thing. All the plugins are built in with Pluggy, which is the same plugin architecture that PyTest uses. I built my own theme to make it look like this. It supports theme generation. It supports nesting themes. You can also add features via themes. So this lunar theme here, that lunar theme is what generates this search bar so that I can just do PyCon and get search results. And then boom, there we go.
Oh, the lunar theme is really killing your eyes.
What's that?
For the search bar, at least. So if you type in PyCon in search bar, I'm assuming there's a reason why it's white, because it's just taking all the text on the page as white.
Oh, yeah. Again, this is what happens when themes don't interact with each other well, and I should have custom CSS to overwrite this stuff. But again,
Okay.
I'm lazy and I live in a world where no one is going to my website and going, let me type Black Python devs. And if you
So
are
what you're
that
saying is I
person,
should do that?
yeah, you should. You should go in there and complain about it and then be like, hey, I noticed this, file an issue, which we'll get to.
Okay.
But yeah, the way the render engine works is you start with a site object. The site is the globe. It is the thing that has all the things in it. You can ignore these. These are site settings. Basically, I'm just loading these settings in directly. This is how I prefer to do it because then I can have all my settings in a JSON file, and I have all of these settings. You don't need all these settings. These are just globals. These are things that will exist on all the pages, like here. Like I have this icon plugin that I made that turns these into these. So like, you can do those kinds of things. But yeah, like your navigation links and things like that, those are just globals so that they exist up here. And when I click on them, like I don't have to define them. If I wanted to add one, if I wanted to add conferences, and the schema itself is completely made up. So they don't have to be like a certain schema to do that. It's just suggestions. Perhaps you have a plugin that wants a certain schema. It's looking for a certain phrasing. That's the job of the maintainer to force that, right? Conferences.html. Boom. So there, now that exists. I don't have Tmux open. That brings me great shame. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I have some stuff here. I add some site vars, some site variables in. That's what all those things are over there. I register some plugins. I register some themes. Some of these will have settings. So if I say like, hey, I want my plugin, I want that Lunar plugin. That's a part of Lunar theme. Technically, Lunar theme is a theme and a plugin. The plugin injects the JavaScript into to like do all the search stuff. The theme adds the search bar. Again, check the docs on the plugin itself for more information. But I only have it looking at those collections. So if I type in index, it's only going to search items from the index. But if I type in, like, let's see, Gaja, my coffee page pops up. Even though my coffee page isn't a blog post, it's a page. So it includes those two collections. We'll get there. We'll say, hey, if the environment is prod, then go to this website. Otherwise, go to this website. That way I can test locally versus production. That's a whole thing. Again, these are things that you could probably set elsewhere and just load them in, but the way that I do it is it's all on one page because it's easier to explain. Markdown extras are a thing for the markdown parser right here. So I say, hey, this conferences page, I want you to use this conferences template. I don't know what that conferences template does some things. We go into templates, conferences, boom, right there. So we can say, hey, it extends whatever your default page is or whatever the most recent page template is. For reference in data, go find the conference talk title, go find the conference URL, do some things with it. I don't. Talk about how easy this is. Let's throw some padding in there. So we can do, the only reason I know the padding works is because I'm using Tailwind. So I know it works. In between these, we have text extra large. Let's add some PY padding of 1, just to give it a little bit more space. Then we can do the same thing here. Right, we do all that stuff. There is a Tailwind plugin. I thought that we had in here. Apparently we don't. But then you have these individual objects. You have a page object, so that's conferences page. You have a collection. All a collection is a bunch of pages that are found at a content path. So if I were to, where is my, come on now. There we go. So if I go to content, there should be a bunch of files in content. If I'm in content. There we go. Thank you. So yeah, we see all these files. Those are all blog posts. If I loaded up one, it'd be a blog post. If I wanted to see my pages, boom, page right there. Apparently I have some pages. Coffee wish list. What is that? I don't know what that is. Coffee wish list. Yeah, it's at the root. So coffee. That moment you have pages and you're like, what are you even? What are you even?
What do you do?
Do you not exist? Are you not real? Did I replace? Oh, it's just coffee. It's just my coffee page. This is coffee. It's called coffee wish list, but apparently it's just my coffee page. Yeah, see, I love coffee. I love coffee. It's right there. Title my coffee page. My coffee page. That's just whatever the thing is, but we changed the slug to coffee, so that's it. Content standards. Ooh, this is an important one because if you're gonna write stuff and people don't know what your content standards are, you know, hey, this is basically me just saying like anything I talk about on my site is based on my opinion and experience at the time that it's published. So my experience is subject to change. My employer has no say on what I publish. Wow, English. Again, file issues. Let's see. My employer has no say, boom, on what I publish to my personal channels with the explicit exception to aggregation channels or like social media and stuff. Disclosures establish trust, and I'm happy to provide them. Which is basically just whenever I can, I will say like, hey, my employer does this thing. So that's why I talk about it a lot. So yeah, that's the thing. Yay. What was that? There we go. And then the newsletter is probably just like hey, sign up for the newsletter that doesn't exist. I should probably just get rid of that if I'm being honest. Yes. But yeah. So all of that to say, everything that you see here that is a markdown page gets translated and generated into output that I thought it got generated into output, but apparently, because they're hidden. So how do I, yeah, there we go. It's generated into output that turns into HTML that is designed to act a certain way. Corpus.json. Where are you? What is this? Oh, yeah. No, I need that. That's important. That does the search thing. Again, some of these things I didn't create, so I'm like, I don't know what those are. So they get auto-generated. Also, shout out to some of the people that helped me with Render Engine, so I can do things like themes.
Such command as themes.
You're a liar. I mean, you're not, but
it's just theme.
Templates. They're not themes. They're templates because we were struggling to figure out like what templates were available, because if you have multiple templates running, what? I'm confused by this. Oh, it's because I'm missing a command. Boom, list. Yeah. So this is where I would tell somebody, hey, go file an issue for me on how to actually do this. Is that not what I was doing here? That's not what I was doing there. Okay, I don't know why it's not working. Something in there is broken. It should be fixed because you're supposed to be able to just list all the templates that you have, and I don't know why it's not working. But anyway.
Interesting.
But yeah. All that to say, if we go back to what we're supposed to be doing here, which is Excalibur. Sorry for your retinas.
I'll just look away so I don't die.
If we go here, this actually needs to change because we were talking about this. This isn't a server anymore. This is a service, which is just GitHub. Is GitHub not on here? You don't have a GitHub logo?
I don't think you grabbed the GitHub logo.
Boo.
There's a whole pack for GitHub logo.
Architecture diagrams. Didn't I ask for architecture diagrams earlier?
Oh,
I still don't see the GitHub logo in here now.
top. It's the third one from top.
That's all just hosted in GitHub. And that's just the GitHub README. I'm going to say GitHub README. Boom. And then you could have a slightly bigger version of this. Well, I didn't mean bigger in size, quite literally. That is not GitHub README, but is instead just hosted on GitHub pages. That is still free. The only difference is you'll do fine like that. Let me put this here. The only difference is here, if you're doing something like this. My goodness, come on. Thank you. Grab that. Oh, no.
Oh, God. The Python and the Python.
The Python isn't Pythoning. There we go. Here, you can have your images. You still have your folder. You still have all of these. You feed this into Python, and Python generates everything for you.
Oh, okay.
Which is nice because if you don't like going in and playing with a bunch of Python or playing with a bunch of like HTML and CSS every time you want to make a change, like you can offload that to a service.
Python?
Yeah. Well, you can you can offload it to Python, but there are so many options for that. So there are, I mean, you could use something like Fast UI. Well, can you use Fast UI for this? I'm trying to remember if you can use Fast UI for this.
I'm going to assume yes, because I don't know what Fast UI is.
Well, the thing I was worried about with Fast UI is I think that Fast UI requires, I don't think it outputs to HTML. I think it, it's matching Pydantic models. It's doing a thing. Fast UI package. Again, like my big concern here is, okay, yeah, they're returning a HTML response here that's doing a thing. I don't know how they're serving this. I'm guessing they're serving it probably the same way that I'm serving it, is where it doesn't talk about how you serve it. That's up to you to figure out, which they would say use Streamlit or something like that. Oh, there's no guide. Oh, okay, that's cool. Got to work on that. But that's made by the wonderful.
Figured out stupids.
Yeah, those are the wonderful people from Pydantic. So like,
oh, cool.
You can choose how you write this code. That's entirely up to you. My good friend, former manager, Anthony Shaw. There we go. His website is also, he's the person that created VS Code Pets. So if you're wondering. His biggest contribution. The way his blog is generated is 65 lines of Python code. His entire website. All the stuff. I mean, granted, he's using some things, but Markdown, Jinja, Glob, all the stuff that I did was because I wanted to. He was very much like, I ain't got time for that. Boom, here we go. Just do the thing. Make the website. Make the website work. And the reality is he's actually used Render Engine in the past to do a thing. I don't know if he still does it, to be honest. He may not. Requirements. Hey, look at that. So like he uses Render Engine for like a very specific thing, which was like, I think we have this JSON parser. So he has like these JSON publications and things like that. And he wanted to turn them into files or turn them into like websites or website pages. And
Okay.
he uses Render Engine somewhere, or did use Render Engine at some point to do that. Which, I mean, again, that's the cool part is that, you know, I use Render Engine to build my entire site. He uses Render Engine just to build the homepage. Yeah, right there. Yeah. App site, app page, class index page. He has all of his stuff in here. And then he just loads it in as a dict reader, which, yeah, we have some things for that. So like that's one of the things I want to do are like Render Engine partials, which just generate the output and then you can import the output. That way you only have to write it once and then you can use it in multiple places. That's a thing that I want to do. It's very far on the list of things to do. But again, like something like this where Python is generating everything gives you a little bit more control. So we were talking about a pro. Control. And you remove the con of it's limited because of GH, but you have it's static. So no databases served live. So like every image is hard coded and pointed to, and how you present that image never changes. So like if I wanted to create this opportunity of like on my website, I want you to, I upload a photo and then it immediately shows up on the website. Like that can't happen. And that can't happen because I'm not talking to a database. I have to wait for the site to reload for changes to populate. Now, again, changes aren't happening at a rate where I can't just push, you know, oh, hey, I made change. Yeah, like I made changes. I made all these changes. Wait, whoa, what changes? I'm guessing those were probably linting changes. Uh-huh. Cool. So like, boom, my website's going to update while we're still talking. Like, okay. I push it to GitHub, it updates, everybody's happy, it's doing the thing. I'm using Azure static sites. I could use GitHub Pages. They're both free. I honestly don't know why I chose one over the other. I was using GitHub Pages when I went to work at Microsoft. I was like, I should probably learn this Microsoft stuff. And then when I left Microsoft, I was like, it's free. Why would I move?
Makes sense.
I'm going to continue hosting it there. And if it ever became not free anymore, then I would put it back on GitHub Pages. So yeah. I guess the next level of this would be something to the effect of like a web framework where you have all of this again hosted on a server somewhere. Shoot. So no more GitHub. I mean, the code might live in GitHub, but it's not serving the website isn't just living on GitHub. like the code that generates the website that runs the website might live on GitHub, but like ultimately that code needs to make it to a server somewhere. You're still doing Python. It's still generating this stuff, but again, that gives you the added benefit. Why are these failing now?
I can't see what you're saying, so I have no idea.
Oh, nothing. Oh, 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 you got jokes.
Disability.
You got jokes. There was an error in my JSON. The nice thing about that is it doesn't take my entire site down. It just says, hey, I'm not going to update the site because the JSON is invalid.
There's an error.
What was that error? Expecting a comma. Where was it? Hold on. Okay. Okay, that's in navigation. So that's in my settings, settings.json. Line 7, column 9. Okay. Oh, hey, look at that right there.
Oh. Wow.
I love how it was called accessibility, which was like, oh, it broke because of accessibility, but no.
It had nothing to do with accessibility.
Well, I have an accessibility test that says like, hey, like if you're going to add stuff, like if it has a threshold accessibility score, if that score ever goes in the wrong, if that score ever drops, then it'll fail and say like, hey, you did non-accessible things. How dare you? As it should. That's what I wanted to do. GCM, fix JSON, GP, boo, GA settings, yep. GCM fix JSON, GP, cool, thank you. I wonder if, can I do like, no, it won't let me do that. That's lame. Okay, I was wondering if it would let me grab multiple like lines at the same time. Is it gonna actually reload? I didn't think it was going to reload. I'm kind of worried about that, actually. Shoot, no. Because apparently, this is the thing that I do need to fix, is that it only looks for certain files to trigger a reload, but it should also look for those JSON files to trigger a reload too. All right.
How you're just running laps around my brain with the stuff you're doing.
All I did was say, hey, this GitHub action that rebuilds the website and then tells the server to like, hey, load this new file or load these new files. I have it set in here.
Only doing on specific triggers.
Yeah. So only look for changes in content, routes, and my site. So in reality, what I should do is I should copy this because my website is open source. Remove dark mode. Sorry. Just because the dark mode, like I was running it into issues with it. Also, update website on tests and JSON updates. Currently, it only updates on. We'll see.
See, this is the part of GitHub that I have dabbled with.
You haven't dabbled with?
No, I have. This is the part of the GitHub that issues. That's where I lived at. That's all I did
That's good
in
though.
previous work.
That's good though.
I
I mean,
guess.
that's the thing that most people do in their day to day. Like, we were just talking about this. Oh, I didn't see you at the Black Python Devs Coffee and Code. What happened?
The coffee.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like 7 a.m. your time, so like you're excused. It's fine. Or
Didn't get to bed. Didn't get to bed too early. That's
or
that's
8
my
8
issue.
a.m. your time, which is fine. Like the reality is, we were talking about this. A lot of folks who come to me and are like, I'm trying to get that first job writing code, or that 1st Python job, or that first developer job. Your first developer job is going to be doing this. It's going to be writing issues. It's going to be triaging issues. It's going to be verifying that these problems are indeed problems. It's not going to be, I need you to re-implement this sorting algorithm so that it's at O of N, big O notation. Like, no one's going to ask you to do that, because usually things like that either cost money or will cost the company money if you get it wrong. So
that's go to senior.
yeah, so you're gonna be doing issues and maybe not even reviewing code, more like reading the code or writing the code that will get reviewed. But it's going to be based on issues that already exist.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Not a me issue, Keith. I'm gonna put this up. Regardless of whether or not you think it is a you problem or a code problem, file the issue. And here's why. You will not be the only person to run into this issue, more than likely. And if you file the issue and you figure out, oh, it was indeed a me problem, and then it gets solved and you write the solution, you now have a like source and point where you're like, this was a problem. Oh, you know what? It was user error. Here's the issue for it. And now that's documented for all, eternity. And it's not a matter of it's documented, oh, Keith didn't figure it out, poor Keith or whatever. It's more of like, you will help so many other developers who will
like this guy.
be sitting there like you going, I don't know where to figure out how to solve this problem, because I'm pretty sure it's a me issue, not a product issue. And I mean, again, I had a meeting yesterday with PM, and I was getting ready to just rail on like their project, not in like a bad way, but being like, hey, I want to talk about doing this. I want to talk about this, these features, and they're not documented. How do I do this? And his response was, you saying that they are not documented, one, is incorrect, but that shows that we have a documentation surface problem, where like the documentation is useless if no one knows how to find it. So how do we make it so that this documentation is easier to find? So even though I was wrong, and again, I wasn't like coming at them in anger. I was like, hey, you asked me to do this. I don't know how to do this. I can't find any documentation on how to do this. They were like, oh, let me find this documentation. Also, let me make sure that this documentation is easier to find. So sometimes adding that issue is the indicator of an underlying problem. But if everyone is sitting there like, no, it's a me problem, or it's not a problem at all, like that underlying problem never gets brought up. It never gets resolved. So yeah, 1,000%. Like if you're writing issues and that's what you're doing in your day to day, like that's good. Because that's going to be what you're doing full time. Like I wish someone would be honest and be like, hey, do you want to get paid to write issues? Because like,
that's junior, baby.
Yeah, I mean that's mid-level too. That's senior and principal. I will do this. Shout out to the team that makes open sauce. Again, this is the second time today I have shown this project. If you're not using open sauce is a discovery tool for GitHub, it allows you to do GitHub things. Hey, look, I'm in the top 2% of GitHub. Not of GitHub, of people who use this. That's not what I was trying to do. I was trying to go to my profile here so that I can search for my good friend Pamela Fox, who is in the top 1%. So again, this is the 1% of Python of GitHub maintainers who do these things. Let's profile. Can I see the number of pull requests? 45 pull requests opened in the last 30 days. How many issues? Can I see how many issues were open in the last 30 days? It won't tell me how many issues were last opened. That's fine. We can figure this. It's more than, I'm pretty sure it's more than 30. That's okay. I can also do this in GitHub. Author is Pamela Fox. Type is issue. Created is also Pamela Fox is the person that taught me how to do this. So we'll say in the last 30 days. Yep. So created is greater than that. 20 issues and 38 pull requests. So like a third, 20 out of 60. So a third of Pamela's contribution history on GitHub is filing issues. And that's just filing issues. That's not like
commenting or anything like
yeah,
that.
that's not even a comment. Like, can I do a comment? Is that a thing? Will it do that?
Shouldn't you be able to?
I wasn't sure if like you could do like a comment thing here. I could just do created. Oh, that's author is Pamela Fox still. Let's just do type issue, right? Boom. So in that instance, 98, so a fourth or like a fifth roughly of the time is doing things around stuff. And this is probably loose because there's probably some people who are referencing a thing that she did. Yeah, I see the open AI chat app quick start. I'm guessing if I look at this issue, yeah, see Pamela reacted to it. Boom, like got pinged on it. So like, yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like, it's a lot of stuff, definitely more than what I'm doing. Well, maybe it's arguable. I'm probably doing a lot. I'm probably doing about the same, but it's all like render engine and Black Python dev stuff. She's doing stuff for Microsoft. So there might be a substance difference there where she's winning. But the thing that I'm getting at with that is like, you're probably writing issues way more than you think you are. And she's a principal advocate. So this is like the highest level you can get to before like distinguished. So like even at principal, 20% of your time is still filing issues. Like that says something. Back to our drawing here. The only difference with this is you get a server, you get databases. Where's the databases? Where'd they go? There you go. So now these don't live. And what we're saying is this folder is
a database now, or a Lism database?
Well, it's not a database, but you probably have a reference to those files on a database. This folder is, good Lord. Okay. Do I have S3 in here? I saw that in the browse libraries.
What are we looking for?
AWS serverless icons. So thanks for the detour. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Is there S3? Yeah. Okay. So these don't live in a folder anymore.
S3.
They live in an S3 bucket. And this database has references likely to each of these. And I mean, I can't guarantee that that's exactly how that would look, but you know, that's roughly, I mean, that's roughly like
the idea.
yeah. And you might have some metadata in there, like is there like a metadata file? Like, yeah, well that you'll do. Each of those entries is something like this. Each of these points to that file. And then, you know, you got another one. Next one there. We'll make these smaller. Show. Points to that file over there. So that, yeah, you're like calling these database entries that point to an image, and that image to like, you could have more information here that does this. And again, if I'm doing, you could do that with this. You could have this flat file structure and you could have a reference for each of these images, but that's kind of a manual process. Here, you would still upload the image and you would do like a create new image thing and it would load it in. Like if you're using a tool like Django, yeah, were we like Python, Django, Scala, how dare you?
How dare to have not have a library?
How dare you not have Django in here, right? So yeah, if you had Django or something, you could have like that gets managed for you. If you're using something like Wagtail, which sits on top of Django, like
content management system.
Oh good lord, we don't need images. So like you now have this thing where like you're doing all of this stuff and it just exists, and you're like writing stuff, and you have the text banner stuff, and it manages all your database stuff for you, and you can load images and you can do CMS things. Like this is what you get when you go into a server. Side note, I'm trying to see if I can build a CMS for a static site generator. I'm kind of really interested in that idea where it would be like, it's for render engine, it'd be a render engine CMS, but the idea of it is instead of you writing Python code, you would have your architecture and you say, I want a new page. And then it behind the scenes is generating the Python code to create the page and do all the stuff.
Well, for your CMS, is it going to be like TypeScript or Markdown?
No, it would be something like this. It'd just be written in Python.
Something simple like that. Okay.
Yeah, it'd just be written in Python. I'm not saying it would be its own like static site generator, because that would be.
Gotcha. Okay. That seems like a lot. That's why I was asking.
It might be like a React app that has like things that generate output, and then the output generated is just a flat file, but like you would have instructions on how to load images and things like that. But the whole idea would be like, if I wanted to write a new blog post, I could just do button new blog post, and when I do that button, it does that. My other thought was quite literally, because we're already in the terminal, to use textualize for it. And then textualize would give me the ability to have like this window that's like, you could build it, and then you could like have a little button that says like, show me the code for it. And it just generates the code for you. And then you could have it link out to other stuff and pull things in. Like, I mean, it would be a massive project, but I think it would be one that would make people enjoy. I don't have a problem with going to a database immediately. I think the answer with this is you get the most control. Most control, live data updates, and then your cons are
cost.
Yeah. Eventually, it's just going to cost money. It may not be a lot of money. Maybe a little bit of money.
I mean, the size of the site, it shouldn't be a lot of money. It's not like I'm trying to.
Yeah, but it's going to be money. Like, you're going to have to, like, your database needs to host somewhere. I'm only going to Ivan because I know Ivan quickly. You need a database. Ivan for Postgres, we have a free
First
tier.
breath.
Like that's the thing is we actually have a free tier. So you could host your database on Ivan for free. Shout out to Ivan. I work for Ivan. Cool. There's a free plan available. It's limited in what you're able to do. Eventually you start scaling up and you're going to pay for it. Like that's just the reality of it. Like
how services should work.
yeah. So
I feel at least.
you're doing, I think I'm glad we actually have a pricing engine here. So yeah, you can start for free. Once you need more than a gig of RAM and more than 5 gigs, then it goes up.
I feel like if you're not storing videos, that seems like you'd be fine for a while.
Yeah, unless you're a big company. If you're an individual, you use the free tier. Like absolutely. If you're a company, if Baki starts making it big time, then you need to do that. Hold on one second.
Hey, if Baki starts making that Instagram money, then we'll move right on up to startup. No questions asked.
Yeah, like I mean, but this is just one of those things. So eventually, like you're like, oh, I need to do caching. So then you like all of a sudden, Ivan for Valky again. There's a free tier at the base limit. Once you need more than a gig of RAM, then you're like, okay, and you start adding these up. And again, for businesses, this is very affordable. Because I have to say that, because I'm talking about the company that I work for. But these are affordable for businesses. But for the individual, probably not. And that's also in Ireland. Virginia, a little bit cheaper. Okay. But then all of a sudden you're like, now you have these running services also running. So now you're like, oh, I need a search instance. So you have OpenSearch running. Woo! You start thinking about that. Lunar starts to look like a better option. Now you have all of these other things that are running that you have to be responsible for. And Ivan takes away a lot of the pain of that by doing the updates and stuff. You're still going to want to have an eyeball on them. So you invest in something like Grafana that you're now paying for as well. So like, I think that there is a world where did I get rid of my Excalidraw page? No. Okay.
No, it's right below.
Yeah, right there. Well, no, that was the library thing to add them. I think there's a world where you can have just this. And I think at minimum to host and serve, you have it's like $8 a month. And that, I mean, again, that seems really affordable. I think the next jump though immediately goes up to like $25, $30 to $100 to whatever. And I think for what you're paying for at $8, you can get away with doing this for free. That's not to say that you shouldn't do this. If you want to use Flask, Fast API, Django, any of those, you got to go this route. It's going to cost you money if you want it visible on the internet somewhere. But to me, like me wanting to dive into the whole static site stuff is purely like, how far can I get on this? How far can I get on this? Because free is very affordable. And free isn't even always free. Like most of my images, I could store my images locally. Some images are stored locally. Most of my images are stored in S3. And that's just because they'll return faster on Edge because I have like a CDN and like other stuff happening. So I can optimize my images if they exist in the cloud. It means I got to pay for it. Versus this where like everything is just always in the cloud and you're always doing things. And again, that's not to say that you couldn't store these images directly on that database and then serve them the same way that you would serve this. But I'm like, if you're doing that, why would you just not do the free thing? Like you're doing the same thing effectively at that point. You have the database because the database scales. So you can just add an entry. You just add an entry to the database. It's going to auto upload that image to your S3 bucket. It's going to do all of this stuff for you so you don't have to do it. And then you've got everything sitting in a server. And then I guess if we wanted to go like, I doubt you would ever need to go this far into the discussion,
I
but
don't even know if we need to discuss it because there's no reason that Baki would be needing a site that large, I feel.
well, it's not necessarily that. It's just more completion, I guess, um, because someone else will want to build their next like AI platform or
Mm,
something.
mm,
I don't
mm, mm.
know. You'll have this, and then you'll have like, boop, 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 boop. There we go. Boom. And you'll have like this. And instead of a service, this is like our server. This is a service. And then you have like boom, 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 boom. Hey, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. Really? Really? Basically, I was trying to simulate microservices where you're like,
Uh,
I've got this thing going here. I've got multiple services, and then, this could exist down here, but then you got like three of these, and they're in different regions, and they're still doing this, and then you have some other stuff happening behind the scenes that are doing other things, and then that's when you're like,
yeah, because each individual thing costs, yeah.
there you go. That's a little bit better. Like that's what that
Fastest way
looks. That's where that goes.
hey, the fastest way to spend $1 billion is AWS, is what I hear.
I mean, I would say it's faster with Azure, but
There you go.
that's just me. As someone as someone who had to talk to a lot of people about Azure, they would get to that price and they would be like, and I would go, shh, it's okay, it's okay.
Brother, ugh.
Exactly. I was like, it's fine, it's fine. But no, I think I all that to say, like, how you set things up, if you want to go down the world of, do we got him? Is there a whale in here somewhere? Is there?
Docker?
Yep. Oh, okay. You got some familiarity with old Docker, huh?
It's up there,
Ah,
right,
there you
right
go.
next to Slack.
So yeah, if you want to do something with Docker, you
Yeah,
want
there was a time where I wanted to be a DevOps guy, and then I realized how bad I am at it, so
you want
I
to
just
do
learned a little bit.
you want to do some Kates. We all love Kates.
Everyone loves Kate's. Kubernetes is
Kate's
fantastic.
amazing. Yeah. If you want to, talk to Fat Joe, get you some Terraform,
Terraform.
Terra Squad. Oh no, Terra Squad was
That's a
Terra Squad. Yeah,
Terror Squad. Was it?
that's
Was that
Fat
Fat
Joe.
Joe?
I thought it was Fat Joe, right?
Was it? I thought Terror Squad was who's the big guy?
Uh,
Pop the Trunk.
Gone to out the club, and you
Bump.
think I'm a
Yeah,
punk? Yeah.
that's not Fat Joe. That's
No, 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 no.
oh my god, I'm gonna forget his name.
Yeah, Fat Joe.
Bone Crusher.
Bone Crusher. No, I think they did something with Terror. Yeah, Terror Squad's Fat Joe.
You're right. But Bone Crusher's out the club. You think I'm a punk?
Yeah. Bone Crusher.
I ain't ever scared. I think that's what it was.
I told him, we ain't never
Yeah,
scared.
never scared.
Yeah.
That's a big dude.
Yeah. In Atlanta. He's still active.
Everyone is.
He's still making music.
Is he?
That's they said. Bone Crusher was a transformer. How to recharge Bone Crusher. What happened to Bone
Just
Crusher?
plays music.
What happened to Bone
That's.
Crusher?
I feel like that's a fun little YouTube diatribe that's gonna happen later on in the afternoon.
No,
Not today we're discussing.
I just want to, let's just get to the end. We just speed up. Where we at?
What?
Still making music?
He looks.
I was waiting. I was like,
bigger.
is he?
Because of his rat.
No, he was the same size, really. I look like he lost a little bit of weight, which is good. Hey, good for you. Good for you. That's
Really?
what you need. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like he was bulkier
He
up
was
top.
big.
He was a big dude. Yeah, he was, a very big,
big
dude.
dude.
He was at least pushing 4.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, apparently he's in a band called Onslaught. Okay, that's cool. He's in a metal band. I like it.
That actually makes a lot of sense. That actually makes a whole lot of sense.
apparently you can, if you want the free version, or not the free, the open source version of this, you've got Open Tofu.
Oh,
If you
I'm
got,
learning new things.
you know, I don't know, like Vagrant. Yeah, I'm not talking as much on these because I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's AZD if you want Azure. Like, technically, AZD also supports Terraform, so like that's a thing. But yeah, so like you have this whole thing in existence that is purely an idea. You are still at choosing which of these you want to go with. And I don't know
I
which.
feel like the middle one would be best specifically for the educational purposes of learning Python.
I mean, you can learn.
Like I can make a website right now with CSS, JavaScript, and HTML,
Yeah.
but that's not the point.
I should mention there is the $5 version of this is very capable. Like, again, this doesn't need to be an S3 bucket. It can be local files.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna hurt you. Maybe I should just I like these things. Fam, what are we doing?
Fun.
What are we doing, fam? Oh gosh. Okay, whatever. All right. So like, it could be something like that. Like, it doesn't need to be. I'm not gonna be the one to tell you flat out you need to be trying, Pelican or Jekyll. Well, one, if you're doing Jekyll, you're not doing Python. You're doing Ruby. If you're doing Pelican, then you're doing Pelican things. If you're doing Render Engine, like, hey, welcome to the family. Support. You'll have support. Like direct support from the person that has invested probably 4 or 5, I think 5 years of my life at this point or 4 years of my life at this point to this thing. So like there is that, but like
That is nice.
that code is not used anywhere else, at least not widely. So like there is that. You just gotta like understand that as a concept. So I mean the amount of support that you get in form of written content is limited, but I think either way, I think you can't go wrong with doing something like, if you wanted to learn how to do Django things, you could do Django and fly.io, and that would give you, a relatively good site up and running at like
30?
$5 a month,
Oh, okay.
So you could make that work, and that's going to have you're going to have a very simple database attached to it. Do they have databases?
I mean, ultimately, like this website is going to be used like as a portfolio piece for most of my throwaway work. Well, not throwaway work, but
yeah.
Like I have a bunch of Shiba stickers that I have created. I have a bunch of like icons and stuff like that I'll just throw on the website as well, just because once you get one of these dogs, you just become obsessed with them. So like, that's also part of the website that I'm going to want to develop out. So,
well, I mean, I would tell you if you're planning on building a shop.
Yes,
like,
Shopify is definitely an easy way to go. Well, I know there's also the Shopify API, which I believe
it's not.
I'm pretty positive. Like, what's the other? Is it Redbubble? Cotton Bureau. Okay.
Redbubble. I don't know if I've used or heard of Redbubble. I mean, I've heard of Redbubble. I don't know if I've used it.
Yeah, Redbubble's the one that I know of.
Yeah.
But I know at least for Shopify, there's an API that you can implement into your website to have it run through the website and have your Shopify page. Yeah. Unless I'm high and I dreamed this one day.
By the way, get you some Conduit merch. Everybody on the stream, I make money off of that. So,
Made me buy it.
I'm just saying, keyboards, hashtag keyboards made me buy it. Break room made me do it. I'm a conductor. Also, I am snail and I am with snail. Like, that is important. If you're with that slow person or you are that slow person, get this for that slow person. Redbubble is all right according to Keith. So Keith is saying that Redbubble ain't all it's cut out to be.
Keith, I just like Redbubble because you have more choices and like it's not just like t-shirts and stuff. Like you can make posters and prints and
Yeah.
stickers. Like I personally like Sticker Mule the most for most
No,
of
we
my
don't, we
stuff.
don't talk about Sticker Mule.
Oh, you hate them? Okay. Sorry.
We'll talk about that offline.
Sticker Mule, you've disappointed us.
No, Sticker Mule CEOs disappointed us. That's
how I feel about Spotify. I get it.
Yeah. So you will hear a lot of people in the community that are just like, most people just don't care, and that's fine. I'm not here to let me watch what I say, because good Lord, everybody nowadays.
We'll talk about it offline.
We'll talk about it offline. There's a lot of stuff happening in the Python community that is very connected to a lot of thoughts around social issues. We'll just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
My opinions are probably with the majority. However, I'm not trying to make myself a target for anybody. So yeah, there is that. But yeah, so yeah, I would say, like, I know of folks who are like, I'm gonna build my own shopping cart.
No, and like I get it. There's no point of building something that's already been done.
I mean, you can. It's like,
apparently Sticker Ninja's the new one.
oh yeah, Sticker Ninja is one that I've heard of too.
Oh, they have some artists that I know on here, so that's pretty cool.
All right, so like our leadership summit. By the way, this page is built in Ruby. I'd like to fix that at some point. Should be written in Python.
Like,
yeah.
Did you build in Ruby?
Yeah, it's in Jekyll, because Jekyll is natively supported in GitHub pages. So like, notice something here. This looks kind of out of place, because it is like it's not native to the platform. This is Tito. It's a ticketing system. Could we build our own ticketing system? Yes.
Yes. But
do we want all of our time devoted to supporting a ticketing system?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So yeah, there is that, like, yo, you probably don't want to be on the hook for constantly having to maintain your system. And there was a great talk. Let me see if I can find by why is my brain breaking right now?
Because it's been 2 hours of teaching someone who is very far below.
Well, you're fine. You are definitely keeping. Why can I not type right now?
Yeah, so there's an API for the static page integration for Shopify, so that's one less thing to worry about.
I'm trying to find. There is.
Why does that person's name seem so familiar?
If you don't know Jacob Kaplan-Moss, you should. Jacob's a great person, great human. Contributing factors: password rotation, design of everything against federal government, phishing, credential stuffing, how people use passwords. I can't find it in here. There's a particular spot in here where Jacob says an amazing. Maybe it's here. Basically, the idea comes to the end of, like, you should not. There we go. Here.
Isn't secure. But here's the thing. Google's security team's better than your security team.
Yeah.
That's fucking true.
Yeah, like Google security team is better than your security team. So like regardless of like this is one of my favorite talks. It's how I met Jacob. Like I think I was the talk right before or right after Jacob. So it was like, hey, no pressure, new kid. I was probably like, I think I was like, this is 2018. So what, 6 years ago? Dang. Never mind. We're not gonna talk about that. That's a whole nother thing.
You're younger than me.
No, I'm not.
Are we the same age? We can talk about it offline.
I'll be 35 this year.
Yeah, you're younger than me.
What?
Yes.
Oh, okay. No time like the present to start. All right, well. But this statement here, Google's security team is better than yours. You can replace Google with Shopify and say e-commerce platform is better than yours. You can take ticketing system and put Tito's there, or CFP platform and put the stuff in there. But like, yes,
it kind of boils down to, if they've already put the infrastructure and money into it, why would you spend extra time doing that thing that they've already done for you, basically?
Well, and here's the thing: if you want a job at Okta, which does OAuth tokens,
Oh yeah, I've applied to them.
there's an easier approach, and it's called going to Okta and looking in their open source platform, looking at all their open source tools that they have here that are public, and contributing to them in some way, shape, or form. If you want to go work at Auth0, which is owned by Okta, you can go to Auth0's public platforms and you can contribute to them. If you're like, well, I want to do this so I can learn how to do the thing, what I would tell you is the first thing that in the interview that they're going to ask is, have you done this on your own before? And I'm guessing is if you say yes, the interview is over, because you clearly don't care about security if you are doing this on your own. Like, that's just the reality of it. If you want to learn,
have you tried to do this? Have you tried to make it on your own before? Versus, okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Like Auth0 will be super happy. Okta will be happy if you've implemented their tools in your platform. But if you
just try to make one from scratch, they're gonna be like,
I'm gonna rebuild Auth0 from scratch. First of all, they're gonna say good luck, and then second, you're not gonna get hired, because that is not a wise thing. There's a reason why they have a bunch of people and a whole team of people dedicated. Like their whole open source platform is 20 people. Are you saying that you are going to do the work of 20 people? Probably not. I mean, this is the perfect. Me going up against Django, like I'm not going up against them. It's like Django project, or like the Django team has 107 people plus actively developing on this ecosystem. This is why I'm not trying to build Django. This is why I'm not trying to build the next fast API. Could I? I don't know. But the thing was, I went to Pelican. Is this it? No, that's not it. Oh, see, they got a CMS plugin for Pelican. I want something like that. Oh, Butter CMS plugin for Render Engine might be cool. I'm trying to find the org. There it goes.
I find this to be a very interesting thing, because it's almost like, hey, we have Auth0 at home.
Yeah. There are 7 people working on Pelican. So like, you see the difference for like Auth0, 20 people, Pelican, 7. Like, there are some projects that are worth fighting. The actual like render engine didn't get built because of Pelican. It got built because of Frozen Flask. Frozen Flask, one person. So like my goal was, I was using Frozen Flask. Frozen Flask went several years without receiving an update. And now it has, I know some of the maintainers of Frozen Flask, which I was like, y'all couldn't just let me have this? like,
They're like, oh, we have competition now. Let's go.
But yeah, see, like 3 years ago, 2021, there was 1, 2, 3 updates. And one of them was just straight up like, this person is stepping down as a maintainer. Like, so like it was very limited. And actually I know Hansa. Hansa's a good person, good human, but Hansa got busy. Life got busy. And that's what happened is like in a world where people get busy and stuff happens, they stop working on things. I just happened to start working on Render Engine around the time where they stopped pushing updates to Frozen Flask. And my website was originally written in Flask, and I was like, this isn't working, so what do I do now? Do I make it a regular Flask project, or do I make it a Pelican project or whatever? And I was like, well, I just kind of want to see what someone showed me Anthony's 60-page project, and I was like, I could probably do that. And then 60 turned into 100 lines of code, and 100 lines of code turned into a bunch of other stuff. And then I was like, aha. So it would appear that I can do this. Okay, cool. Sorry, I was trying to see someone's working on something. But like I took on a challenge that one person was working on. I didn't take on a challenge
that 20 people are working on.
Exactly. So yeah, like there's all of that to say, pick and choose your battles. I think for what you're doing, the fact that you're like already beyond, I'm going to make an Instagram page for Baki. Like that's
been done.
I was gonna say that's the easy solution. That's like the no code solution on this is like Instagram. Why not? But if you're like, I want to do this because I want to learn Python, then you don't want to do this at all. That's a big negative there.
It's very much like I want to do this, but I also like my main focus, or 50% of the focus is I want to learn Python.
This was never an option, so like we're not even like what are you doing, fam? Somewhere in between here and here. Don't worry, I'm gonna change the color on this. Opacity, there we go. And a lot of this will depend on long term. Do you want to be a web developer? Like, because if you just want to do Python things and you don't really have an affinity for a particular web framework, because if you pick this bottom one, we now have to then play the game of this is what's that game? I can't remember the name of the game now.
What's it look like?
Smash Brothers.
Yes.
Choose your fighter. Like, are you
choose your code?
Are you gonna go Fast API? Are you gonna go Flask? Flask. Are you gonna go Django? No, not Django Con.
I'll probably end up going Django because that's the only one I actually know.
I mean, why can I not remember what this is called? Django Project .org? .com. DjangoProject.com. Yeah. Like, so then you have to choose which one of those you're going to go with. Again, are you doing this for a one-time thing? Do you know what you want to do inside of Django? The thing that gets me so much when I talk to people about going down this path is like, they'll say, I just want to write Python. To do what?
Interesting.
Python to do what? Python to build websites? Okay, cool. Django Fast API, Django Fast API or Flask, which one? Oh, I'll just do all of them. I mean, yeah, you can. It's probably good to have like a basic knowledge of each of them, But
Well, which one are you going to focus on? Because you're going to stick with one to build, I assume.
well, the reason I say that is if you look at Django, if you want to be a Django developer, you are probably looking at where is the compatibility? Where is the Python compatibility? No. I'm trying to find how to check supported database versions. So you got to remember, you got to learn these things. What versions of Django will my database support? So if you're using Python 3.10, you got to make sure your SQLite's up to date here. You got to make sure your Postgres is supported up to here. If you're using Django 3, Django 2, please don't be using Django 1. Like the reality.
I'm surprised that it's even available.
Well, it's not. It's dropped. Like I'm pretty sure the support is gone. Yeah, the support has been gone for some time. But so like a lot of these things are, how do I do PostGIS things? How do I do MariaDB things? How to do MySQL? How do I do Oracle DB stuff? Like these things are all done differently depending on the tools. If you're using Django, you're using Django ORM more than likely. If you're using Fast API, eventually you're going to be using SQL model, which is similar to Pydantic meets SQL Alchemy. If you're using Flask, you're using SQL Alchemy. Like, I don't know what else you're using. And if you're going to use like MongoDB, how do you do MongoDB stuff? Notice that that's not on here at all. How do you do MongoDB things inside of Django? The way you'll do it in Django is different than the way that you'll do it in Flask and Fast API. So like, how do you do caching? What do those things look like? It's not that you can't do all of these things. It's that I know Django developers who do Django development full time, and I ask them some of these questions and they don't know the answer. They go look it up. And that's fine. Like, that's why the internet exists. The internet exists because we don't need to know we need to know how to find the answer, not necessarily know the answer nowadays.
Memorize the answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's a whole world of things that you're going to have to be focused on. And you have some people who are like, I don't care. Like, you want to know what I do with Python? I like building static sites. I like maintaining packages that nobody will use except for me. But I like the idea of maintaining them one day. And it's paid off. Where like my job has me maintaining some of their Python packages. Like part of my role as a developer advocate at Ivan is now like there are projects that other people at our company rely on that I am the I'm the project maintainer. So for me, my world is more this and this than it is actually writing Python code. But then when I go to DjangoCon, I've gone to DjangoCon for the last 2 years in a row. I don't know that much Django code. I can spin up a Django website. I've built Django websites before. But like if someone was like, I need you to help me scale my Django website up to like 1 million concurrent, visitors, I'd be like, I have no idea how to do that. Go talk to RevSys because you have problems that you need to throw money at, not people. You go talk to 6 Feet, go talk to Lincoln Loop, go talk to RevSys. Don't come talking to me because I can't help you with that. But like, there are people who want to do database things that have never heard of Dataset. And Dataset is like a simple and beautifully easy way. Simon, we need to get you a better stuff here. Like the idea of Dataset is like you have a bunch of data in a SQLite database and you want to be able to put it on the web quickly. Doesn't matter where the data comes from, or you have a CSV file. You have a CSV file. You want to take that CSV file and you want to do things with it. You have a bunch of GeoJSON and you want to put it on a map. You're not a web developer, but you have a reason that someone would probably need to go in and look at this data.
Okay.
You don't want to, you want to use Python, so cool. You don't want to do things like Kibana. You don't want to do the things that I've done, which are...
I get a map of all the places she
Okay, Simon, thank you. Simon, thank you. Stop talking. Thank you. You don't want to do what I've done, where J Miller, Elasticsearch. Yeah, here we go. Ooh, that hair though. Yeah. Rough times. You're going here and you're building stuff. Close that up. We don't need to hear me talking. But yeah, like building these individual things inside of Jupyter notebooks and then eventually passing them into Elasticsearch so that you could visualize them like this. You know, that's sure you can do these things. Sure, you want to build a dashboard, go build your dashboard, do the thing. I think this was the one where I was looking at. Oh yeah, no, this is police call data in San Diego.
Okay.
So yeah, like being able to look at the different police call data is based on what precinct or what major street the calls were coming from, and being able to like again, if you want to be a data scientist, maybe you do this, maybe. But if you're learning Python to do this, like there are easier ways. But if you already know Python, then cool. Like here I'm using like Elant, which is like if you know pandas, but you need to learn Elasticsearch things, like Elon's kind of pandas for Elasticsearch. Also Seth Larson, who is the security developer in residence at PyPI, was the one that helped make Elon a thing, and also a good friend of mine. Shout out to Seth. I still need to call him.
Shout out to Seth.
Yeah, he jumps onto the stream every now and then. But yeah, like all of this stuff, the stuff that that you're like doing is usually to serve a purpose. It's not to just be like, I want to learn this Python stuff. Maybe you do just have a bug that you want to scratch and learn this Python stuff. I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with that, but like...
No, I wish I was that cool. I'm not like that.
Yeah, I mean...
I have a thing I want to do, and I want to use Python because I would like to learn it using Python. I think I would learn a lot more using Python than I would like with the simple JS and CSS HTML.
I mean, you could use like Astro and some like web framework or whatever and JavaScript and
True.
call it. I mean, honestly, that'd be the fastest way to do it. But if that's not the thing that you want to do, like if you want to build Python, I mean, do you want to dive deep into the whole like I'm doing database stuff or I'm doing like maintenance and taking my website down to add photos to it and things like that? Or are you fine with like I have 10 photos on GitHub or even 10 photos in cold storage in a JSON file that like gets generated of all of these photos? I mean,
I kind of like the S3 version.
Okay. I mean, I think if S3 is what you're looking at, I would probably consider this second option. That like
the real question is like even with GitHub Pages, would I be able to make that transition from GitHub Pages to the S3 like Amazon S3 easily, or would that be a thing?
So this
like, let's say I build everything out, I have it on GitHub, I have both GitHub, and then I'm like, okay, well, I want my images to be hosted on S3 now because okay, cool.
The only thing is there's not really a fast and quick way to identify like this image. So the way that I do it on my website is I have half of my stuff is on S3, the other half is on Azure storage. Azure storage is fine. It's about the same price, honestly. Like cost, you're not saving any money in cost. They have a nice little app where I just drag and drop photos in and it works. So Why not? Also, I like how easy it is to add a CDN to it to make it a little bit faster in loading and stuff. If I paid for the CDN, I could do sizing and all that stuff. And there are services for that too. I forgot what it's called. CDN images, Image Kit. Yeah. So Image Kit is one that I used for a while. I think I technically still have an account for. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. Image Kit was kind of dope. I think it's free for the most part, unless they've changed their price. Yeah, free for a bunch of storage. You got to do a lot of this.
500 video processing units? That's pretty wild.
You got to do a lot of this stuff manually though, and that's what makes it tough. So yeah, that becomes a little bit of a pain. Some of this, when you pay for things, you're usually paying for like automated like library uploads and stuff. So when you load it to AWS, it'll automatically pull to Image Kit and
From
make the CDN
AWS
for you.
image.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, like you have some of those things, but like on my site we have let's see, content. I don't know. I'm trying to think of one that I know that exists. Good Lord. I don't even know. I need to clean this thing up. Like, I've got a bunch of pages on here that just don't need to exist anymore. Just because they like exist in other places. So it's fine. I don't know. Breaking changes around. Yeah, there we go. Do I have images in here? No. I usually just don't have images, if I'm being honest with myself. Because I'm like, do I really want to have a bunch of images that I got to deal with? Let's see. Back grab. We can do back grab. We can do bang, bang, dot, star. Or maybe I just that star. Yeah. No. You really gonna do this to me? You really doing this to me? What are you doing?
Why not?
I was trying to find just something that had an image in it. Back grab. Boom.
I mean, where's your front page image?
Here we go. So yeah. So where'd it go? Here we go. So like, I'm just loading them directly from the web, which is kind of dangerous because then they can just disappear. Here you have like a image that just points to an S3, bucket. Here the loads. Some other ones, yeah. These like Azure Edge things. What song is it? Add VS. Oh yeah, cool. Let's go to. Good Lord, why can't I type? Boom, cam. There we go. Cam.io, search. And then we just do VS Code. Yeah, VS Code now has extension options. Boom. So like this image, like it exists on like Azure Edge. So like, but I couldn't just do a quick search for it. Like what I had to do is I had to go to my Microsoft Azure Storage Explorer. This thing. It's gonna load. I go to my storage account. I go to my blob storage here. I go to my blob containers. I go to media, and then I have every single image on the website and stuff. And then I can do like,
whoa. I
can just filter.
They don't make it easy, huh?
Well, I'm gonna do Azure static web apps or something like that. Boom. Copy path. That copies the exact path. Yeah, y'all can see that. That's fine. Shoom. and then when I paste it in, it looks like that. That's not what that said. It was supposed to be Azure Edge something. So then like on my other system, I have a thing that makes it easier for me to just do like, it just like replaces this with like
Just the actual
Azure Edge, you know, or whatever that is. I forgot what it is. So yeah, like that's how I do it, which is probably why I don't have a ton of images all over the place. Because in order to add an image, I just like I go into my downloads folder, or I go into wherever the image is, and I go boom boom, drop that in there, and then
that's nice.
go and copy the file, and then I'm done. That's it. It would be nice if I had some script that would automatically do that for me, but I don't. I could make it. I'm a Python developer, so you know I have the ability. It's more of just
It's
like
the time.
well, yeah, and it's like this system works, so I'm just doing the thing that works for now. But if I were using something like Wagtail, which the restriction there is, you want to use Wagtail, you got to use Django. That's the kicker is Wagtail only works with Django. And that's actually a question that I've had is, would they consider making Wagtail support other web frameworks? And they were like, no. I was like, okay, that's fair. That's fair, you know?
So at least they're honest.
Yeah, you know? They have a little bakery site going on. How do I do the demo? I just want to see the images. Just show me the pretty. I like pretty. Wagtail's features. Also their website is beautiful. Like I'm a fan. But yeah, you want to know how to control how content is displayed and how it's organized. You want to have a tree-like structure that makes it easy to find and organize content. You want Django models, native Django model support. You want contact forms and surveys and stuff like.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I just use, well, I used to use, I don't think I use it anymore. Now I'm just like, don't contact me. Like,
I want to talk to you.
I'm pretty sure I just took the contact form. Yep. I just completely took it off my website because I was like, don't email
Too
me.
many people are messaging you.
You want to connect with me? Do it here. But I was using, I forgot what it was called. It was some service that gave you an embed and you just embed the thing into the thing and it's there.
It wasn't SurveyMonkey, was it?
Huh?
It wasn't MailChimp or SurveyMonkey, was it?
No. This was purely like a contact service. I don't know. Yeah, good luck. It wasn't Typeform. Email and message embed. I don't remember. But basically it was some SaaS thing that was free that I was using that was like, if you want to send me a message, just send me a message through that and it'll go to my email. And if I want to respond back, then I'll email you back. But otherwise, like, sorry.
Otherwise, I've read it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I got you.
So like, again, like there are services all over the place. I could probably look it up. Actually, I could look it up on my website. That's the other beauty of having like a website that is, that's not it. A website that is like dynamic, like, or not dynamic because it's static. It's the opposite of dynamic. But has lived just a lot of different things. Did this not work? What was this issue? Same issue. All right. Well, we'll fix that some other time. Sorry, I got distracted. I can just go to the code here and be like, all 500 commits of my website. Can I search commits? Is that a thing that I can do? It was there 2 years ago. Why not? Let's just go boom. Why would you give me like there were no commits during that time? Was I sleeping under a rock? October. There we go. Updated the README, because why not? Can I find... No, I want to go into... I want to detach and go to this branch. I'm pretty sure that's possible, right? Isn't that possible? Can't you just go to a particular branch or go to a thing?
I mean, I feel like you can go to the branch if...
Browse files.
Hold on.
There we go. Yeah. So now I'm on that branch. Let's see what Render Engine looked like 2 years ago. My website was significantly different. I was still like, yo, we in 30 lines of code here. We doing real good. And now it's like, how many lines of code is it? $111. Okay, so it's triple.
Woo.
There's been a lot of developments over the
Lifting
years.
some weights on that.
Yeah, honestly, you wouldn't need half of what I've done, like, for most things. I'm just trying to find.
I mean, I'll have 120 lines for a completely different reason.
Nah, we'll use a linter. It'll clean that up.
Ah, okay.
Form spree. There we go.
Form spree.
Formspree.io. Yeah. It was like, oh, you need a form real quick? Like, boom, here you go. And basically, you would populate it. It would just add a little form onto your static website. And then
You shoot off a...
Yeah, someone send me a message. It'll be, hey, someone sent you a message. Here it is. Here's the message. So then I would just reply to the message and be like, all right, cool. Yeah, I got it. Thanks. I'm surprised
Pretty solid.
they're still around doing stuff, huh? I want to see some. Give me them announce. Ooh, look at that. Look at this. Just to run a website that does nothing but process forms.
Hey, it depends if they ever want to get shareholders. You know how they like those numbers.
Mm-hmm. Well, they got a library. I think they got an API as well. So if you're doing like JavaScript things, like you can use the CLI and React library to like just directly connect to it. If you do static site things, yeah, this is what it looked like. You generate a little form and it look like that, and like boom, perfect, sweet, nice, I like it. You could style it because it's HTML, and like you can always style HTML. You can do like spam filtering and things like that, where it does all the spam filtering for you. SOC 2 certified. Look at that. Boom. They got
That's mind blowing.
plugins.
Just the fact of what you have to go through for SOC 2 certification, like that's very interesting. I mean, I guess it's been around for some time. So
Static kit? I don't know what static kit is. That was in 2020. Now there's a part of me that's like, how many people is...
maybe I should go back.
I'm just wondering. I bet this is like 3 people. Not to be mean about it, but like I'm just there's no way it's like 100 people working on this.
Maybe it's like 50.
I mean, yeah, it could be our team. That's 5 people.
It's impressive.
That's 5 people. So yeah, like if you wanted to compete with Form Spree, like
you know what's crazy? I don't think I'm gonna do that. Just don't think I'm gonna do that.
You know, that's like a whole thing. I'm sure they got $20 a month. What? Your business, you need 20,000 form submissions, infinite forms, infinite projects, and as many teams as you want. $60 a month. That's not bad. Compared to like,
Seems really good.
how much is Typeform?
Use that form. The only other one I know is
$50 a month for 1,000 responses.
that's wild.
100 responses a month, $25 a month, right?
I bet their team is much bigger.
Oh, yeah, it's much more than 5 people. I was like, how big? I don't know.
I mean, they have a careers page, so you know it's bigger.
This is like all the people for Typeform. 100 Nah, there's probably
General
more than that.
administration
I
and
bet
product.
Typeform probably has over 45 nationalities.
So at least 150 people.
Typeform in Espanol? Ooh, look at that.
Pretty cool.
They have a developer API. Are they on
I
GitHub?
like it when they have developer APIs. It makes me very happy. I might not be able to do anything with them, but I like it.
Oh, I love it because if you want to create a webhook API into your Typeform, like, boom, you're there, and you can just do it. Like you don't need someone's permission. You're just like, I'm gonna do this thing. You're not gonna scrape it, which is flaky because if they ever decide to, get rid of it, then like,
Change.
or
Mhm.
change the form, then all of a sudden you're just like, everything's broken. I mean, look at that. Like,
I do like that. I would say that's part of the reason why I got into web design because I wanted to do the design aspect, or web development because I wanted to do the design aspect, but I wanted to, build it myself. So
I mean, if you want to
learning process.
do web design, I would suggest go switch to JavaScript, or
Yeah.
contribute to Fast AI or Fast UI, or there's another one. What was it? Python UI, HTML.
But like you said, contribute to a fast area. Like I want to just have fun with it more so than like
Yeah,
do it.
yeah, and I mean
Like
that's
I'd rather be a dev and then have fun with the design on the side than the opposite.
my website. Let me see. Let's side by side this little thing right here. This little phone right here. We'll take Shopify. We'll get rid of that, and we'll do boom, 100%. If you look at GitHub, KJ Miller. Jeez, I hate it when it does that. Thank you. You look at some of my repos for render engine micro.blog.
Tailwind CSS. Okay, that's what it is.
What are we using here? Are we using Pico? Are we using Pico? What am I using here? I know this ain't all static, is it? Let's find out. Oh, yeah, it's using Pico. So like like simple website, didn't need a lot. From there, we're like, cool, do the thing. And it just worked. No need to do a bunch of stuff. Oh, hey, look. The render engine plugin website is built with render engine. Like, but yeah, if you want to go down the path of it just works and everybody's happy and we're good, I would probably consider Django. Django's probably going to be, it's going to feel heavy for what you're doing. But I think that in a world where you're wanting to build websites and do stuff, I think it's gonna connect a bunch of dots for you, and then you can use a service like Fly.io to host the entire project, and you don't have to get over your skis on a bunch of stuff. We can go down the road of doing Docker things. Because you mentioned Docker, I'm kind of like, oh really? Like,
yeah, I'm perfectly fine doing Docker things.
well, I would suggest a Docker Compose thing where you have like a Postgres service and a web app service, and they're just talking to each other. And you can even set that up to develop like that locally and have like a local little testing database volume or whatever. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Pico. Pico is my other, because it's like, you really don't want to do CSS things. Pico is your friend.
Oh, I don't mind doing CSS things.
And then milligram CSS is another good one. Milligram CSS is like, you're doing nothing. you can't do. I like Milligram for when I'm doing like the Node.js Foundation is using Milligram. That's wild.
I didn't realize that. That's very interesting.
That's wild. Because like, that website is probably one of the most visited, or is it just Node.js Live? What
It might be Node.js Live.
Yeah, I think it's just the Node.js Live page is using Milligram, not all of Node.js. I was like, whoa, like Node.js.org
impressive.
is. Yeah, no, I don't think that's using.
That's not.
That's probably not Milligram. Oh, look at the little buttons, got little things on them. Like what? So yeah, like you got.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, I've used Milligram before. I had a. It's probably still here somewhere. Fire something. Author is me. Fire. No.
So before our next meeting, what should I have set up?
Before next meeting, you need not much at all, actually. You need I would suggest, I mean, if we're doing the Django thing, or maybe you want to try, let's see if we can build this locally. Let's build it locally. Actually, you know what? Let's build it locally with all three. We'll use all three. We'll give you an example of what all three of these look like. The nice thing is most of the code itself won't change. We'll even do a bonus one where like it'll just be the code itself that serves a page. Well, maybe that's just Flask. Yeah, we'll just do all three. And then we'll see which one you really take to. Because again, no one got fired for picking any of the three, to be honest. Flask and Django are probably equally used. Flask, the difference is no batteries are included. Django, all batteries are included. Fast API. I like Fast API, but I'm still a little on the fence for why I would choose Fast API over Flask for some things. There's like some async support and stuff like that, but for what you're doing, that doesn't matter. But yeah, the next call we'll start with Flask because Flask is probably the fastest deployment. Then we'll go to Fast API if we have time. We'll reuse a lot of the code that we're using. We'll get that up and running. And then Django will be the last one. Honestly, I got to figure out how we would do this with Django. It's probably not hard. It's just a matter of like how we would do it. Also start submitting talks on things that you're learning. Like you're in a very lovely spot right now where you could be giving Python talks about the beginner experience from the beginner experience.
Oh, okay.
And like it would help a lot of developers flat out. Because if you can go in, because again, hey, I want you to use render engine. What are you going to do? You're going to be like, render engine, how do I get to that? Okay, cool. I got to that. All right, I'm going to go to the docs. Okay, how do I? That's fine. I'm going to go to the docs and then, okay, maybe, so I do this, I guess. And then you go like, all right, getting started. And you would just like go, oh, you got to do this again now. Cool. And then you do this. Oh, I forgot about that command. That command's dope. And then like, oh, we got to read simple site layouts and stuff. That's cool. Then you got to create a page. Like, I don't know if this is helpful to someone or not. It might be, it might not be. But my site is tiny. My little thing, super tiny. Hey, they're serving ads on my stuff and I'm not getting paid for it. I don't know how I feel about that. Personally, I know the people who run ethical ads too. And I'm like, wait a minute. Is this a thing that I can turn off? Because I don't know how I feel about being served ads or having ads on my site that I didn't approve and that I'm not being compensated for. That might be a conversation for another time. But anyway, like if you were going through here, I wouldn't know what to tell you. But what I can tell you is if you go to djangoproject.com
Mm-hmm.
and you go to documentation and you follow this, what I will tell you,
It'll give you everything you need.
no, I'll tell you to go to PyLadies, go to resources, and PyLadies, PyLadies Django tutorial. Well, not just there, Django.
Yep.
Yeah. Django Girls tutorial. That's the one. Do this one instead. This one, solid. This is how most people. This is the most recommended way to learn Django is to do this, and it walks you through the whole thing, setting up a code editor. It teaches you how the internet works because you never know who's learning your project.
True. A lot of my friends didn't realize the internet is, just a bunch of freaking
computers
wires that are
connected
in
to each
the.
other.
Well, also that there are a bunch of wires in the water.
Oh yeah, 1000%.
Yeah, told someone that, lost his mind.
Yeah. So yeah, like again, I can't tell you the best way to do any of these things. I can't tell you your experience, but what I can tell you is there was definitely a talk that was really popular at DjangoCon 2023 from Mario Munoz, who is keynoting DjangoCon this year, called Why I Didn't Start with Django. That was purely just like, hey, here's why Django isn't the tool that I always reach for. And a lot of people really appreciated that talk. A lot of core developers for Django were in that room, and everyone was like, thank you for getting up and telling us this, because that will help us make Django better in the future. So yeah, consider giving talks, even if they're like at meetups. Like, give talks at meetups about things that you're learning. I think that's super awesome. Like that Dunder Bull thing that we talked about last week. I did not know that was a thing until we talked about it. I saw it and was like, that's how that works. Huh. And I've already tried to find like 3 or 4 places to implement it, and I'm like, okay, I should probably stop before I break something. But yeah, like that is quite literally like one of the things that you could do.
Okay, well, I won't say I'll start writing scripts, but I'll start keeping that in mind when learning things.
Yeah. All right, fam. It's been fun.
Thank you for everything. It is. It's always been a blast.
We've learned a lot in the almost 3 hours we've been doing this. We've been talking. We will have to come up with a new schedule.
Yes.
But you're going to be building a website next week, so have fun.
Yeah. I'll write as much down as I can and let you see some things.
All right, cool. All right, man. Catch you later.
All right. Talk to you later.